Heaven's California.
Yo guys, what is going on? Welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be covering our FIFA 19 trading guide, and it's just going to be a little bit of a rough guide for all of you here. If anyone's new to trading, then this is probably going to be a somewhat easier guide for you to start off your FIFA 19 trading career with. Now, when I start FIFA 19, I do buy a few packs, which is purely for the basis of just helping myself fill out my club before anything, really. It just helps you along. Now, we're going to be talking about a few things here, and just a few things for what is going to be happening. And the first thing we need to be looking at is the team of the week for week number 1. There's a couple of things that we can do for this, which is very, very useful and should help us a lot with our trading. Now, trading at the start of FIFA is very, very tricky because there is obviously a time in which there is not a great amount of people. People get the game at different times throughout the year. Some people will get the game. Some people will start trading on the web app tomorrow if it's released tomorrow. Some people start playing on early access. Some people will start playing when the actual early access for the full game is out, and then some people play when the full game is actually released on the 28th. So it's very, very hard to say when things are going to be looking at. But we're going to have a look at what happened with some of the FIFA 18 prices, and we're basically going to have a look at what we can do here. One of the first things I want to look at is the first week for Team of the Week here, which is Team of the Week number 1. There was Ones to Watch, which came out. We'll be talking about Ones to Watch at some point. The Ones to Watch cards are different because they can do stuff, but you have to be kind of wary for what that is. And if you want some more experienced FIFA traders, then you should probably go and watch a more experienced FIFA trader, because I'm probably not the best for that, being a very inexperienced trader myself. But I just thought I'd get this video out for you guys. So this came out on the 20th last year, which I believe was the day where the web app was released. So I'm reckoning that it's probably going to be tomorrow, the first team of the week. Now, we look at this team of the week and you're thinking, what can we do with this team of the week? Well, there were certain cards in this team of the week that were going to rise. There were usable cards in other areas of the pitch that rose throughout FIFA. I'm going to start having a look at the first one, which is Lucas Fabianski. The reason why these cards go up in price so much is because they're in the game for the first week of FIFA, and then they're never to be seen again, unless there's like a team of the week tradable thing, SBC. But we're going to go on to Mr. Wojciech Szczesny here. We're going to get rid of PS, we're going to get rid of PC, and we're going to head all the way back to the start when he came out, which was the 27th. It's only showing his prices for the 27th, which is a little bit probably because that was when the game was probably released. But this was on the 27th. And that's a week after he's out of packs, which was when he was at his lowest. He was at 15k. A week later, which is at here, he was at 22k. A week after that, he's at 28k. He peaks about 2.5 weeks later at 32,000 coins, which is pretty good. But even if you got him at 15k and then sold him the next week at 22k, you're making yourself over 5,000 coins profit, which at the start of FIFA is very, very, very tempting. And this is very, very good. And I would guess his normal card was probably quite high up there as well, because there was none of him on the market. Let's see. Let's take his Swansea card, Lucas Fabianski, and we'll go all the way back to here. He was extinct at the start of the game because no one was after him. So if you had a Fabianski before his Team of the Week came out, he was extinct. So you could sell him at a load amount of coins. You could have sold him at 10k and probably still had him there because no one's got the card. There isn't enough people buying packs before the Team of the Week is released, because the Team of the Week was released a few hours after the web app was released. So if you can get on the web app them few hours and have a look at maybe some of their Team of the Week 1 predictions and just take a gamble on some of them players, you could potentially be in for a little bit of a moneymaker. I don't think EA will release. This is also a great way to make coins as well, because when a player, you know, EA released the Team of the Week. They released the Team of the Week. What's it called? Oh my goodness! They release they announce the Team of the Week at 3 PM, obviously UK time, and then they buy they get the Team of the Week comes out at 6 PM. So if you can get in, if you're at home and you can get in on that while that's happening, that is going to be huge for you. But players do tend to rise after that time anyway, if they're in the Team of the Week and there isn't many on the market for them. You can make profit from them even when Team of the Week is already out. You can make profit on them even when Team of the Week is already out. Let's have a look at another card then. A more usable card that was probably not the best example, but if you have a high budget, you get lucky with your starter packs. Valencia was a fantastic card to choose here because he went up like a fucking rocket, boys. He started and he was at around 164k. A couple of days after, you know, what's that, nearly a week, basically a week afterwards, he was at 216k. You made yourself 60,000 coins just like that. You held him all the way up until then. He was at 300k. You know, he was up at 400k at one point. He was up nearly 600,000 coins by Christmas because he was that rare during the game. You know, so if you picked up an investment and you just thought, you know what, I'm going to hold this guy, I'm going to hold him all the way till Christmas, you're looking yourself and you're getting a lot of coins. You know, he started shooting up. You know, Valencia was a fantastic investment last year, and because there wasn't really many cards of higher value in the Team of the Week, or even in the Premier League of right back, there wasn't that many options. Valencia was still a great option there. Let's have a look at another one. Let's take someone like Aranguiz. A very low overall, but had a very usable card. He had a very usable card, and a lot of people were raving about him when he first came into the game. And lo and behold, after he came out of Team of the Week, he was only at 13,000 coins. A week later, he's at 18,000 coins. A week later, he's at capping at 19-ish thousand coins. And this is only an average. You know, so he could have been, you could have got one for cheaper than that when possibly Team of the Week or when Squad Battle Rewards drop, if you're awake then, or when, what can we use? We can use FUT Champ Rewards on Thursdays. That's also another great time to pick up cheap players because people, they won't bother listing the player because all they want to do, they're just going to min list the player, or they're just going to list him up, and you can bid on the players because there'll be so many coming onto the market. You can do this with gold cards as well. After Squad Battle Rewards are released, an hour after that, and an hour after the FUT Champ rewards are released, you go onto the market and you find some players and you bid on them because there's so many of the players coming up on the market, and so many people just list them. They don't change the prices. They just do the minimum, and then they set it to the maximum. You can bid on them, and holy shit, the wind. You can bid on them, and you can get yourself some pretty good deals. And it's the same with Aranguiz. All these inform cards did the same. Let's have a look at maybe the higher rated ones, if you had the coins, which is very unlikely, but we'll have a look at Aguero here, because we're covering everyone's budget and stuff. Aguero went extinct and all sorts throughout the game, but he started at 700k. The next week later, a week later after that, he was at 797. A week later, he's at 900k. You know, you're making yourself 100,000 coins profit easily, which is fantastic. But are you going to have 750,000 coins at the start of the game? Probably not. So we will click off that one pretty swiftly. Let's have a look at someone like maybe Joshua or Osua Kimmich here for Bayern Munich. Had a great informed card. Very, very solid. We go all the way back here. He started off at 25k, and then he was up at 40,000 coins, and he capped off at 60,000 coins around less than a month later. Less than a month later, he was there. So if you can afford to hold him, you're on yourself for some money makers with these guys. You know, like a month later, and then his price started to drop down again. You have to know when to sell him. Even someone like Perez, I mean, he's not the best example, but I'm pretty sure his price probably rose up because he's a Team of the Week 1 card, and his price rises. He was discard, and in a couple of weeks later, he's up at 17,000 coins. That's in the Argentinian league. You know, maybe let's check someone else. Let's check someone like Philippe for Dortmund. Was probably very, very cheap because there wasn't that much. He wasn't a great player. But as you can see, he was down at 15,000 coins. He then rose up a couple of weeks later to 25,000 coins. You can see what I'm getting at here. If you can afford just 10,000 coins and put it into a Team of the Week 1 player, even someone like Bakambu here, you know, if you can pick one up for cheap on the web app, you scroll all the way across to Bakambu. He was only at 50,000 coins. A week later, he's already at 100k, looking at nearly 120k a couple of weeks later. That's big. That's very, very big. Obviously, there are other ways to invest as well. Another way to invest is for the Player of the Month. And we know that Player of the Month, Mane, or not Mane, is it? No, it's the Player of the Month, Lucas, is going to be with us a couple of days through FIFA, or when the FIFA 19 is released. I believe it's probably going to be the Friday, this coming Friday, so it'll be, what, the 21st. A lot of people are going to be investing for that. I for one, I'm not going to be investing in that because I didn't have enough time previously for the Player of the Month to invest for that. The best way to hope that you're not going to lose, you can gamble your investments and not sell them until the Player of the Month is dropped. And yes, some of your investments might go up, but if you sell them into the hype, even if you're waiting until the day before, when people are now thinking, shit, it's Player of the Month tomorrow, let's invest, they can then buy your cards that you bought a couple of weeks before for half that price. You're making yourself guaranteed money every event. Now, obviously, there's times in the market where you're not going to be selling for an event and you just see the market is low. A good example for this would be 83s and 84s last year. When 83s were low, people were picking them up and they just keep them in their club and they'd sell them when they so need to do so. And I think that's a really good way to, a really good money maker right there. Just picking up 83s, keeping them in your club, and then selling them when they're expensive, picking them up when they're cheap. Another good thing, also I want to pick out or point out with the Player of the Month, Lucas, a lot of people are going to be picking up the Lucas Moura cards. If it comes out and the Lucas Moura card is not going to be required for the Player of the Month, requirements for SBCs over the last 2 years seem to have dropped a little bit because EA want more people, even if it means they put less of their coins into this EA market, they want more people getting their cards off their account, and the only way they can get coins back is either by playing the game, which makes it look better for them, or by buying their FIFA points and opening packs. And that is a way for them. They're just going to release SBCs. And if the Lucas isn't required, or people are picking up these cards that Twitter investors are telling people to invest in, and you see that these cards are then dropped as soon as that Lucas Moura comes out, you pick them up because a week later they're probably going to be back up in price again. Because people are going to start wanting to get them again, and people are going to be like, well, you know, investors are going to sell regardless, they're just going to sell their cards. A lot of people will sell their cards on the day of the SBC when the SBC drops, and that normally means that the card prices do tend to crash, and that's when you pick them up, and maybe at the end of the event you can even profit off their mass selling or their panic selling and make yourself some profit just by buying the card. As ironic as it sounds, you invest on the card the day of the SBC because the price could drop. If, say, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 people have all gone and picked up a Lucas for this Lucas Player of the Month SBC, and he isn't required, the market is going to be flooded with Lucas players. His price is going to be rock bottom because not enough people are going to be buying him in order to warrant all that demand. So his price is going to drop. You're going to pick one up and you're going to either use it in your team or you're just going to keep it and you're going to wait until his price is back up and you're going to sell him. His price won't stay crashed low because obviously his demand will slowly, or his demand will slowly come back down, and or the demand won't change, but the supply will casually come back down and it will level back out and his price will be the same again. Yeah, so that's what I'd say about Player of the Month. I'll be covering a little bit of Player of the Month in my FIFA 19 Ultimate Team Road to Glory series, but I'm going to wait this first one out and just see what the requirements are. The same with marquee matchups as well. Marquee matchups were really, really profitable in FIFA 17. They were somewhat profitable in FIFA 18, but the problem was EA weren't choosing these marquee matches anymore. They were just choosing random matches from random leagues that absolutely no one could predict. You know, you'd look at them and you'd think, well, why is that game even there when there's a much more important game somewhere else? Well, EA aren't stupid. They know that people are trading to exploit their game, and they're not buying their FIFA points. So if they can throw in a curveball marquee matchups, and that then sends the price for those players in that league up in rocket, and you're like, I can't afford this, I'll buy a few packs, and I'll hope I get something. EA is saying ka-ching ka-ching, you're not getting any coins, you're going home sad, you're going down a tenner down, and you still haven't got your marquee matchups packs, which is why I buy some packs at the start of the game so I can fill out my club with a few players, so I know I don't need to spend a ridiculous amount of coins on my marquee matchups, and if there is any players in my club that are for the marquee matchups, I'm just going to go ahead and throw them in and sell them, and then I'll do it on the Monday afterwards, because let's be honest, if you're doing the marquee matchups on what? You're doing it on... If you're doing it, you know, you can do it properly by... If you're doing it strategically, marquee matchups, you're going to snipe the players that you don't need or you don't have in your club, and you can do it on the Tuesday. But if you don't want to do that, you do it on the day before or a few hours before the marquee matchups is refreshed. You can do it then. The players are going to be cheaper and you won't lose as many coins if you can be prepared to wait that amount of time. The same with SBC players. You know, SBC player requirement prices usually tend to come down a bit as the duration of the... actually, is that correct? That was how it was in FIFA 18. The SBC prices tended to fall the longer they were on the market. Unless there was like a specific player, then his price would probably go up. But, you know, just general players you need to do it, they would generally, their price would come down. So that's another tip I'd sit there. I would say, you know, just keep an eye out for what happens. You know, even if you have to write it down on a piece of paper, write down the trends of this first player of the month and the marquee matchups, and then you can kind of see. There are websites that have marquee matchup predictions. It's just whether you want to gamble your coins onto that. Obviously, the earlier you do it, you can sell into the hype, and then you shouldn't lose any coins if they're not required, because everyone will be mass selling their requirements on the Tuesday, and then you go and pick them players up again because they're probably going to be cheaper, their price will level out anyway. But I'm probably rambling, and let's move on. So we've done Player of the Month, we've done Marking Matchups, we've done Team of the Week 1. There's obviously overpowered starter cards that you can invest in with the first few hours of the game. You have a look on the database, you think, okay, well, this player looks good, he's got good stats, people are going to want him. When the web app drops, you pick him up for cheap and you see his price go up. A player that you can use for that example, I'm going to check, is Bakayoko. Tamui Bakayoko, this one right here. Bakayoko was obviously an extremely overpowered card in FIFA 18, and his price was incredibly high when the game started. You know, he was at 20,000 coins, and he was extinct at some points as well. And some people pick up an 80 rated card and they think, well, this card isn't actually that good. I'm just going to list him and he's not going to do much. These aren't cards that you want to hold on to. These are cards you want to get cheap, or you want to be looking at cheap at when the game starts. And then when the full release of the game comes out, that's when you want to be having a look at selling. The web app is a great place to have a look, you know. Even sniping Bakayoko. We'll talk about sniping in a minute, because sniping is a great way. Actually, no, screw it. Starter players, you know, if you can pick them up, there will be people. You can tell that the starter players are going to be good. You see the good pace, you see the good defending, you see the good physical, you see the... Where's the stats? Here they are. You can see he's got decent weak foot. You can see he's got decent work rate, medium. You can see he's going to be OP as FUT. And there's players in FIFA 19 that I might have my eye on. There's one, apparently, Fred. A lot of people are saying Fred looks fantastic. But you want to try and find your own, because a load of people are probably going to be investing in players like Fred for their starter teams. And they're going to want to try and sell him. And when everyone does try and sell him, his price will come down. But sniping is a great way for you to start building up your coins. And I did a lot of sniping in FIFA 18, and I managed to get myself up to 200k just by sniping. And at the start of the game, sniping is fantastic. There are so many filters you can use. There are so many new players to the game that are going to be coming on. They're not going to know what the market price is at, and they're just going to be listing their card up for stupid prices, and you'll be able to snipe it. Now, unfortunately, sniping does kind of die off the deeper you get into the game. Because obviously less people... Well, that was the case for this year anyway, because after Team of the Year, a lot of people switched over to Fortnite, and unfortunately sniping was a little bit extinct by then. But up until Team of the Season, players seem to hold their price for a lot. You know, Team of the Season is the first event where cards take that first down crash in price. And then obviously Team of the Season is the second, where they take their massive another down crash in price. The Black Friday, players take a down cut in price, but then they tend to gradually go back up until Team of the Year. So sniping, yeah, until I can get on the game, it's pretty hard to show you sniping filters. But again, that'll mostly be in my Road to Glory series. But that's trading, you know, until you've tried it. If you're not confident doing it, then don't do it. You know, that's what I'd say. If you don't want to take that risk, then don't take the risk, because you're not going to get those coins back. But, you know, Team of the Week 1 investing seems very good. Sniping is always going to be good. Investing in players that are going to be in Team of the Week 1 and their normal card is going to be good as well. Investing in seeing if you can pick up them cheap beasts at the start of the game, that's going to be good as well. What else have we talked about? We've talked about SBC investing. That's going to be good, but make sure you sell into the hype if you can. You know, if you want to take that risk, but you could end up losing big. You know, it's that go big or go home. I'd rather go home with less profit, but knowing that if there was a choice of coming away with 50k profit or a chance of getting 100k profit, if I waited an extra day, but I could lose 100k. I could lose everything I've invested in. I'm going to take the 50k and I'm going to wait for people to mass invest there or mass sell their cards on the day. I'm going to pick them cards up and then I'm going to sell them as well. There's always obviously the Thursday and Sunday buying and selling, or more importantly buying or bidding, because that's going to be good. There's the FUT Champions buy and sell. You know, sell your players on a Thursday. That's when players seem to be up in price, and you buy them back on or you can buy players, the bigger players on after FUT Champs as well. That's when players are going to be selling their cards if they don't need them. And that is going to be about it for this quick little trading guide for you all then. So that is going to be it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did take anything away from this clusterfuck of a video, then please remember to leave a like. If you enjoyed, don't forget to subscribe, turn notifications on. I've been David. This has been my FIFA 19 starter trading guide. Hopefully you all enjoyed. Stay safe, stay awesome, stay happy, and I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.